Coming to you from the international headquarters, ScottieDTV, but I was down visiting my buddies at Concept One Pulley Systems and attending the 2022 Auto Crusade Car Show in Cumming, Georgia. And I came across a very cool 1941 Willys I think you're all going to like. Let me get the camera turned around and we'll check it out. Kent, thanks so much for giving me some time this morning, brother.
Thank you.
Tell me, man, that is a very cool Willys you had at the Auto Crusade Car Show this year.
Yeah, that's a project that's been a long-term project for me, and the car's kind of sentimental for the family that we built it for. There's 3 generations that were involved in the restoration. The car originally was a gasser race car from the 60s, and Bogan Sr. actually raced that car all over the southeastern United States in the 60s. So it's kind of like a family heirloom.
Cool. And how did you come about it?
We met, 10 years back, the family, and they were looking for somebody to take it and finish it. It was actually, they let me know from the beginning that it was going to be a multi-generational thing. So you had, the father, which is Bogan, and Bo, the son, and then his son, little Bogan, is the end user one day for the car. So the 3 of them, we kind of worked together and tried to preserve as much of the original car as we could. The first thing we did was took all the suspension frame, took it out from under the car, and rebuilt all of that stuff to preserve the integrity of what the car really was. I don't know if you noticed the wheelie bars, the ladder bars, the straight axle front end was all original equipment that Bogan Sr. built in the 60s to race that car. The car was called the Cat Skinner, and that name comes from, they're in the grate business, and when you have an operator that's a really good operator on Caterpillar equipment, they call them Cat Skinners. So they nicknamed the car the Cat Skinner. There were actually 3 of those cars that he built and campaigned, and that was car number 2. When the car came, it had a fiberglass front end, and that's really hard to work with to the level of car that they wanted to build. So we sourced a original all steel front end out of California. That took a long time to find. We started from there, but all the interior sheet metal, the frame, everything on the car has been touched. We tried to honor him for what the car was, but also Bo was heavily involved designing it. So it's a little bit modern in some aspects with the engine that's in it and some of the electronics that run it and that sort of thing. The car has air conditioning that's hidden, in the rear canopy. So it's kind of a mixture of the 3 of those guys. And the son, like I said, one day they wanted him to be able to use the car and be able to drive the car and show the car. So that's the reason we put a little bit. It's all hidden inside the car, but the car has a pretty good stereo system in it. And the engine in it is a 5.4 GT Ford engine, 4-valve engine.
Out of the GT, the production car?
Yes.
Wow. How'd you come across one of those?
They are friends with a local guy here, Jackie Jones.
Okay. That's all you got to say, Jackie Jones. We all know him.
Jackie Jones had that and offered it to Bogan, so they bought that.
How cool is that? The car's cool to look at, but to know that, I don't know why I thought it was a Coyote stuffed in there, because it's pretty compact. There's a lot going on underneath that hood.
So we based it, and it wasn't easy. It's very, very tight. It's got a lot of specialty parts, and that's one thing I can say about that car is normally, when you're having a conversation about the car, you start naming off, whose chassis it is, who's this, who's that. There's not a lot of that on that car. Every bit of that car, from front to back, is hand built. There's hardly, other than the brakes that are on the car and the engine, transmission, and the gauges and air conditioning, most of the stuff on the car is handmade exclusively for that car. And we've built a lot of cars for this family. I think we're on our 4th car with them. The week that we finished it and brought it to Auto Crusade, I had the car in my possession for 10 years. Along the way, we built some other cars, but that car being what it was, we spent a lot of time. We took our time and, right down to the wheels that's on the car. It took us almost 2 years to get a set of wheels that we liked in the car.
Wheels and color, that's a tough choice. What color is it?
That's true candy apple red. That is I think it's Zenith gold underneath the candy. It's true. There's 4 coats of gold base coat, 4 coats of candy, and 4 coats of clear on the car.
It's absolutely beautiful. What about interior?
We did the interior in-house here. It's leather, black leather, and Alcantara. At this point in my life, in my business, I've got my own interior guy that works for me full time. And we sent the Alcantara and had the stitch pattern put in it, and then had the panels made, and then we made all of that interior. And Josh at Relicate, he sourced all that stuff for us and helped us out a lot with it. Nostalgia type interior. We wanted to stick with something that looked like maybe 60s, 70s. His dad, I think, originally told us it was a pleated or rolled and tucked. They called it interior in the car. He was known. Bogan Sr. was known. We have pictures of those cars being shown at the old World of Wills in the 70s and the 80s.
Where did you debut it at this time?
That's it. That was it. We brought it there for a specific reason. Those guys over there put on an awesome show, and I really like it. It's close to home for us. One of the big reasons we brought it there was because in the 60s, he drag raced that car at a drag strip. It's just a few miles down the road from where that show was at. It was the old Cumming drag strip. So there was a lot of people there at that show that knew him and knew the car. Some people there that remember the car being raced.
Was it this color when he raced it?
Yes, it was. It's always the number one. The car number 1 was orange. Car number 2 and car number 3 were both candy apple red. Raced it had a gold leaf on the sides that said cat skin.
You got 3 generations, and all 3 generations had a different, I guess, idea of what they would have liked the car to have been.
Yeah, that was the hard thing, when you're building these cars.
Because this thing's a show car now. You're not going to take this thing out and race it now.
No doubt about it. It's a race car, show car. We're not going to race the car.
I mean, maybe drive it down the strip, as an expedition kind of thing. Yeah, at 100 or maybe 90. I'm sure the car's built that it could run as fast as you wanted to run it, but
we built the car to where at some point, if we wanted to get the car certified, we could. But if we did something with it, it would just be the nostalgia stuff.
Right.
We wanted to make it back, to where the car was kind of timeless, if we could. Trying to maintain that balance between keeping enough of the originality of when it was a race car, but add enough modern flair to it where they could actually use the car. If they wanted to do a nostalgia exhibition run, or they wanted to do a parade, go to shows with it.
Right.
So.
No, I think that the interior is what makes it make sense to me. It's got the old look of the original type of interior, but you used a new material in it. And so then underneath the hood, you've done the same thing too. You took it had an exotic engine from the past, and you put an exotic engine from the future. And
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I get it now. It's all, you got 3 generations that all, like I said, have got a bit. The original race car will never go away of what it was. What it is today is never what it was meant to be back in the day.
Exactly. It sounds like you get it.
Yeah. No, like I said, in the interior is what made it all click for me. And it's funny too, because it's all in the details. And one of the coolest things I think about the whole car is the strap that holds the door from flinging open. I like how the stitching runs in that as well as it runs in through the rest of the car. Instead of just making that just a strap, with no detail in it, you put the stitching in it to match the rest of the interior. I think that's cool.
I appreciate that. We had the original wheels for the car that he raced the car on, and I sent them and had them completely refinished, and that was our intention to use them. And along the way, we figured out that the magnesium had deteriorated so bad they just weren't safe to use. Then we started trying to source a set of wheels, and we actually bought a set of wheels, had them polished. That just didn't suit the car, so we ended up with a set that's on there, which is a polished wheel that's coated, that amber coating that looked like magnesium. Easier to maintain. So we took the original wheels, and they're going to be in the garage on display with the car at some point.
Well, brother, again, man, I think you nailed it. It's a very cool car. And any other things, any little details I might have missed or need to know about the car before we run?
There's a lot there that we're in process of doing some build books and stuff for it about the history of the car and the restoration of the car and the build. There's so many things like the rear fenders on the car are all hand built in-house in my shop. And we built those. Originally, the gasket, the tire stuck out from under the fenders, and with what it costs to paint cars now, and being able to use the car and not worry about it, we handmade a set of fenders that were 2 inches wider than the factory Willys fenders. And then all the hood, you know, the top side of the hood is original. All the hood sides are handmade. There's been heavy modification to the front fenders and the front cowling. The grill that was in the car there, I'm sure you've seen, we handmade that in-house from scratch. And that's not a CNC machine billet grill. It's a handmade 18-gauge steel grill that then we sent off and had plated. And then everything underneath the car, from front to back, suspension related, even the rear end housing, is all, you know, chrome plated. It's got an onboard fire extinguisher system. It's got a push park and brake. It's got all the modern stuff. You just can't see it's there. It's all hidden very well in the car.
No, you did a very good job to keep the integrity of it still looking like, you know, a gasser type of race car. Again, not one that you would think is going to be running up and down the strips, but you sure could see it cruising streets. Well, Ken, I really appreciate you giving me some time this morning. Again, beautiful car, brother. I appreciate you bringing it out and letting me see it at Auto Crusade Car Show 2022 in Cumming, Georgia.
Thank you so much, and hats off to those guys over there. That was my first year there, and they've really got a good thing going on over there, and you'll see me there in the future. That's an awesome show over there.
It's one I sure enjoy covering myself.
Yep, me too. I mean, that's on my top of my list now for shows that are in Georgia.
So there you go, from the 2022 Auto Crusade Car Show, a very cool 1941 Willys Cat Skinner. Hope you all have enjoyed it. See ya! Hey y'all, make sure you subscribe to this channel and visit ScottieDTV.com for an easy way to search the hundreds of videos I have posted. Either click the link in the description or the one at the end of this video.